And we are live. Welcome to Profile Pod TV. That's right. We are back for another extravaganza, ladies and gentlemen, on Profile Pod TV. I'm your host, Double A. I'll be your host of the evening. As always, as every week, we tune in and we have great guests. We have killers. We have killers after killers after killers, after my man Mega Man likes to say. We got a great show in store for you, man. It's really great to be here. It's always great, man. It's always a pleasure being with all of you here in the comments and at home, wherever you're watching, wherever you're tuning in from. Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching on the replay, thank you as well. And if you're listening to the audio version, thank you so much for tuning in to Double A and Profile Pod TV, man. Like I said, man, we got a great show in store. Before we get to that, before we get to our guest, we get to everything. Just want to say a few things. I was at the toy drive this past weekend on Sunday in the city of La Puente, California, and I was part of the toy drive, and it was a great event, man. What a great thing to be a part of. And big shout out to all the people, especially Cali Girl Eats, Cindy, who organized and spearheaded the entire event. She did a great job, and a big shout out to La Poblana's restaurant, Andres, and everybody over there, the staff. You guys are amazing. I think they're still collecting toys. If you're in the area, San Gabriel Valley, La Puente, California, drop off an unwrapped toy, donate to the cause. It's the Orangewood Foundation Community and Foster Youth Services. So it's really nice to be a part of, man. If you've never done a charity or been a part of anything like that, man, you guys got to do it. You got to do it, man. It really fills your heart. It's a great cause. You're helping people out. So there's plenty of nonprofits out there, community agencies to connect with and do something like that, some volunteer work or whatever it is. A big shout out to, again, Big Foodie was out there. The Hood Foodie, Big Foodie, the Hood Foodie, Fidel, Talking Again podcast, DJ Rec was in the house spinning all the tunes. But yeah, it was just a phenomenal night. Nina the Millionaire, Omar the Solar guy. So a lot of good people. Got to meet a lot of good people. The Driscoll Kid. Oh my goodness, how could I almost forget the Driscoll Kid? Big shout out to all you guys, man. Big shout out. So don't forget to subscribe to Profile Pod TV. Now I created a little feature for everyone there at the bottom right hand corner of your screen. You should see the beautiful purple Profile Pod TV logo there. Now go ahead and click on that. We're going to take five seconds here for everyone to go and click on the purple logo there, and then you'll see the subscribe button pop up. Go ahead and click on that. Go ahead. We'll do that real quick. I'm kidding. Yeah. So subscribe to Profile Pod TV. Lend to the cause, support the cause, support the show, guys. Would be you'd be doing me a huge service. If you like the content, if you like the show, that's one way you can support. So I really appreciate that. Follow us on Instagram as well, Profile Pod TV _ and at Twitter at Profile Pod TV. Always looking to interact with all the followers, the listeners, the viewers, because that's one way to survive. Right? If you don't have an audience, you don't have anything. So I'm always grateful, man. Always showing love back, being supportive of others as well. And don't forget, if you want to be a part of this podcast, if you want to be featured on the podcast as a guest, hit me up in the DM on Instagram. We're looking for people who do extraordinary stuff, to inspire the human spirit. Cool stuff, man. We want, whatever the case may be in any walk of life, it could be a filmmaker, musician, small business owner, entrepreneur, podcaster. If you swim in the Pacific Ocean with uncaged sharks, you need to be on this podcast. So, I need to find you too, but let's get you on. Hit me in the DM on Instagram, and we'll work something out. So, yeah. What else? Big thank you to everyone who supporting Profile Pod TV on Instagram. We hit 1,000 followers recently, so that's a big accomplishment. Thank you guys. Really appreciate that, man. So, I'm gonna keep rocking and rolling. And just going to continue to bring on killers after killers after killers. All right. Everybody who's in the comments, thank you so much. We got Joe Sanchez, Joaquin Martinez, my boy. What's up, man? What's up, bro? Thank you guys. Remember, this is an interactive show. So if you have a question for our guest, pop the question. I'll do the best I can to place the question on the screen, and we'll get you on, man. So And remember, if you want to be another thing I wanted to add real quick is I love promoting others. So if you want to promote your podcast, your business, your maybe got a short film coming out, or a song, or whatever the case may be, let me know. I'll mention it on the intro here, the next episode. And hit me up in the DMs on Instagram at profile pod TV _. So, um, uh, yeah. So let's don't forget to do that. So one more thing, our next week we got a big fish coming in, man. I'm telling you, killers after killers. We don't mess around here. The Hood Santa will be here Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. But for tonight, we have a very special guest, ladies and gentlemen. This guy doesn't fuck around, man. This guy, he needs no introduction. He was here a few months back, has the most viewed, the most views on any Profile Pod TV episode thus far. I think he's at like almost 500 views on his episode. So we're looking to double that tonight. So you knew that if you saw part one, then this guy doesn't mess around. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on our guest of the evening. You guys know him as Mega Man, Mr. Steven Martinez. Let's go ahead and bring him on. What's up, Mega Man? What's up, man?
Let me take my glasses off. Only assholes wear glasses at night.
So. Where'd you hear that at, man?
Oh yeah, well I just made that up right now.
I like that. What's up, man? Welcome to the show. What's going on, bro?
Man, I'm just telling you, my eyesights are really bad right now because I'm going to see a doctor tomorrow. So my eyes, I'm going to get it checked up. So I'm going to get a new prescription of sunglasses. Let me put my sunglasses on for reals because my eyes are really bad. I've been really busy. No. I've been really, my eyes been really bad all day today. So like I said, I'm going to go check it up and see if my vision was lost on this side right here alone. So I'm gonna get my new prescription glasses, my reading glasses and my sunglasses tomorrow and stuff, so I can see.
What happened? It just came about all of a sudden, or what?
This has been going on for the past 2 weeks. So luckily, I had to get it checked up and everything, and they already have my information of what type of glasses I need and stuff like that. But they just want to check my vision and see if my eyesight's okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's yeah, I gotta do. I wear glasses too, man. I'm getting old, I guess, man. No, I've been wearing glasses since I was 12, man.
For real?
Okay. Yeah, man.
Yeah. But lately, you know what? To be honest, man, Andy, man, I've been really super busy. Doing a podcast, at Make 'em After Dark earlier, doing your podcast right now. Tomorrow I'll be doing an IG live with the comedian. And then I'll be on Tony A. the Wizard's Freaky Tales podcast. I'm doing 3 episodes on Saturday, 2 episodes on Sunday, 6 episodes on Monday and Tuesday. I mean,
holy shit.
I'm just busy all the way for the whole December and stuff. Yeah. And a little bit of January and stuff because I'm taking February through April off. So I have all this content coming out. I'm going to take a little break out from the podcast, but as long as I'm taking a break from the podcast, I have a lot of content and a lot of episodes to put out and stuff, just to take a break and take care of some personal things.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I'm gonna take a couple weeks off, the last 2 weeks of December off, man, and just get ready to rock and roll in 2021. Did you say you're gonna be the guest host on Freaky Tales?
Freaky Tales podcast with Tony the Wizard tomorrow at 7:00 p.m. live on YouTube.
Oh shit, man!
I got some stories.
Oh, okay. So you know what, man? I'm gonna jump right into it, man, because you posted something a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
You were, I think, you're leaving work, and you were saying, you were speaking as you were filming, and you turn around. Dude, you show you're okay. You said something. And you're like, yeah, explaining what was going on. You're like, this place is haunted. Check this out. You turn the camera around. I see like what appeared to be a little, kind of maybe a teenage girl sitting down.
So what happened is because I work in San Pedro. And around where I work, there's been a lot of crazy stuff been going on because there's a haunted park behind the store called Peck Park over there in San Pedro. Back in the day, that park is really really creepy because there used to be some devil worship. There used to be murders of a person raping and killing women and leave their bodies up there and stuff, and a lot of crazy stuff's been going on. Um,
What
then
city? In San
San Pedro,
Pedro?
San Pedro, and when I was started working at my new company and stuff, there's been a lot of stuff going on at my store, but also around. And there was a lady, same thing, that in Mexico, the lady crying for her baby, the same thing like that, and
La
I
Llorona.
yeah, something like
Is it?
that. Yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah. And it always happens around 3 o'clock to 4:30 in the morning. That's the witching hour, and it's creepy at night. There's times where I just stay in my store and just to have lunch. But sometimes you in the car, you see a lot of creepy things right there. And every time I would see this lady floating, I mean gliding, like floating, walking like nothing, and crying and
What?
crying. And there was a time where it's like, man, I'm fuck this shit. I'm gonna go see what's going on. I went to
Huh?
drive over there to see. And when I say, hey, are you okay? I looked up. There was no face. I couldn't see no face on it. And I went to look back, and that person disappeared.
Is that the one you were filming the other day?
Yes, that is. Yes, that's the
So
one. So a lot of people are thinking like, oh, it's a homeless lady. It's like, no, you need to come every time around 3:30 or 4 o'clock around that time. It's always in that area where that Chipotle is right there. Something happened, but there's a lot of weird stuff goes on in that area.
oh man, I saw that shit, man. You when you posted it, I totally saw something. To me, it looked like I said, a teenage girl, like younger girl.
Oh, our store is haunted. Why work at Andy? Our store is haunted. I swear to God, I put this on everything. I told everyone there's a lot of incidents where when I work overnights, in the grocery store, there could be like just two people, me and another person. Either it's a grocery person or like a produce person, but we know it's only two of us. There's times, Andy, we can hear like a little girl screaming. We hear like doors slamming in the dairy department. When you go to the hallways and stuff, on top there's cages. You don't want to fall down. So I was at the one time I was well, that's not one time. There's like a lot of times, trying to just gather out the cases of the waters just to fill up to get ready for the next day. And I look up and I could see a lady holding the cage, looking down at me. I freaked out. I was like, I can't do this. I go to the office. Times I do my paperwork and everything, and it's like, who's in the book? Who's in the bookkeeper's department? Like,
Uh,
counting. Like, it's like I maybe that's one of our bookkeepers messed up on a cash account and everything, or off on a cash on a register. I would be like knocking, like, hey, who's here? And
uh,
they were talking a lot, then it would just go silent, and I would let the bookkeeper know this happened around like 3:30, 4 o'clock. The bookkeeper came at 4:30, and I let her know, like, I think there's someone in the cash room and everything, because I heard
mhm,
like a lot of people talking, like maybe two or three people talking, and we checked the cameras. There was no one there. There was
uh,
times, there's I was working in grocery. There's you can tell someone's like been lifting up my hood or grabbing me, or you can just tell you're just not alone. There's a lot of weird stuff that goes around. So I've been trying to do my research and see what was before my store. Did anything happen? Was there any like suicide deaths or anything? But there's a lot of scary stuff around the San Pedro area. It's really really haunted because you have the battleships back. The San Pedro, the Navy, the Air Force, and all that stuff. And you got the Fort MacArthur is like the military base. So there's a lot of haunted stuff that's been going around the San Pedro for a while now and stuff like that. And it's fucking creepy.
yeah, man. Did you guys call Ghostbusters? No, I'm
No,
kidding.
oh, and I'm
Uh,
gonna tell you. Oh, I'm gonna tell you one thing too. When I was little, going to San Pedro, the Green Bridge, you go over from Long Beach and all that. I
uh,
remember when I was little, my mom and my dad were when they were together. My mom, we would go pick up my dad in the shipyards around 3:30 p.m. And I remember that back in the day, there used to be a toll, but they don't have it no more. But when we
okay.
did and stuff, we were driving, and I was like, why is there so much traffic? Like, and we passed by. This guy got in his car, climbed the fence and jumped over. I will never forget that. That was the first person. That was the first time I ever seen a person commit suicide right in front of my eyes. I never forget. I was like 9 years old.
Wait, you saw him get out of the car? Like stop, like he suddenly stopped
Yeah, he stopped
in
his
front of you.
car, climbed the fence, and jumped off.
Damn, and you were 9 years old?
I would never forget that.
Oh man.
Hmm.
That's some crazy shit. No, what Point Furman Park, is that in San Pedro?
What is it?
Point Furman?
Where's
Are you
that at?
familiar with that? Somebody's my Joe Sanchez is asking about Point Furman Park. I don't know if he's
Yeah.
saying that's in or implying that that's in San Pedro. Is that a park in San Pedro?
To be honest and stuff, I don't go to San Pedro that much. I just go to my store because my store is on Western. So I
Yeah.
just take one street going all the way up, and there's Peck Park right there and everything. So, yeah, I just go right there. There's a lot of parks. There's a lot of everything. There's a lot of like haunted stuff. I used to go when I used to live with my ex in North Long Beach. There was a haunted park called the Forest Park, I think. It was in North Long Beach by Dairy Avenue. A lot of people committed suicides there because there used to be a lot of trees, but they tore everything down. But there's a lot of haunted stuff. And I remember there used to be a lot of dead bodies because people would just leave their cars there and they would just, go to the trees, like, the walking trail because there was so much branches. They
Yeah.
would just hang themselves.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, a lot of creepy stuff, man. You just, ugh.
No, no, yeah, unbelievable, man. That's yeah, though that was an interesting thing you posted, man, and a lot of people were having, making comments on that. But yeah, it's awesome to hear that you're going to be on Freaky Tales. I know that's a big podcast already with Tony A, and
Yeah.
by the way, I was also listening to your episode with Tony A. I think it was like New Year's Eve, like 2 years ago, right?
Oh, that was a long time ago. That was
Yeah,
Tony A. the
that's
Wizard was my first celebrity guest I ever had in the Mega Man's podcast. Big
right,
fan.
right.
And the weird thing about it is, Andy, when you look back, a lot of my guests I had on the Mega Man's podcast got all big. They're just everyone's doing big. It was the right timing, right moment. I remember having Tony A. the Wizard. Then my second guest was MC Pancho. My
Yeah,
third one was Tanya Estrada. Then getting the Hood Santa. Then getting Mardine. Then Hooter. Down the road I'll get you, Andy. But I had a lot of who's on the Mega Man's podcast. And if it wasn't for those three guests that came on in the early stages, Tony A, MC Poncho, and Tanya Estrada, my podcast wouldn't be how it is today.
killers after killers after killers, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know how I am. Mega Man don't fuck around, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you know. I'll give you a sneak peek for 2021. I'm going to get Darren Vegas. People, you should know who Darren Vegas is. If you listen to the Rodeo Radio with Tony A,
Uh-huh.
Darren Vegas used to be it was the producer for Death Row Records for Dr. Dre and Suge Knight and all that stuff. And hopefully by next year too, I'm gonna try to get Felipe Esparza. I got some good people coming on for sure. I'm gonna have Martin Moreno on. I'm gonna have Tony A the Wizard on. I'm gonna do the American Cholos. So there's just a lot of good guests I'm gonna get on, but I'm also gonna make a lot of good. I'm also gonna make like some guest appearances, but I'll tell you off air. I can't confirm it, but
Yeah.
it's
You
a
can tell
great
me on the
luck.
air. It's okay.
I'll like you got me on that one. Yeah, but there's some big ones. I really, to be honest, I really want to get um the person who founded and from what was it Fools Gone Wild. I want him on my podcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah,
The guy, is
ah.
that the guy who wears the mask and the red nose?
Yeah. So I want to get him, and like I said, just Beer Thug Life. There's a lot of good people I want
Yeah.
to get on the podcast, but a lot of people always tell me, man, Mega Man, I want to get on your podcast. I just don't invite people like I used to anymore. It's very selective. It's invitation only now. I mean, you can send an email out, but if I know you, you're in. If I don't know you, send an email out and we'll just see it from there. But yeah, so I got over close to maybe 40 to maybe like 60 messages on my email, my DMs and stuff, but it's very, very selective. I cannot bring anyone who wants to be on the podcast and doesn't know what to do or what to say or
Yeah.
it brings drama. I don't want none of that stuff. Cause I had some bad apples back in the day on the Mega Man's podcast, and I'm not having a fucking whack ass guest ever again. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's one thing you have to. Yeah, I hear you, man. I'm in the same boat. Obviously, I'm a podcaster. Obviously, it's got to be the right fit, man. It's got to be the right fit. I've had to say no to a couple people, and it's nothing personal, right? It's just the nature of of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
you know Not everybody's going to get on, but you do the best you can, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
to get the right people on and the right guests. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a great point you made, man, because you don't want just anyone. It's not, I mean, this is something, if you're taking this seriously, as we are, then
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna be selective. We're gonna be picky, and bring on the right people, man.
Yeah,
Bottom line.
yeah. And I want to say this too. I just found us out like 2 hours ago. Rest in peace to Debo, Tiny Liston. He just passed away. So, um, yeah, that's sad.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I heard that just a little bit ago tonight. And then Omega Man. Going back to Tony A, man, he was a great interview, man. He was was that before he started Rhodium Radio, or was right around the same
Way
time?
before.
That was way
So
before.
yeah, so that when I did the podcast, he wait. Do you know the whole story about Rhodium Radio? So
Yeah,
he wanted to dedicate the documentary to Steve Yano, the person who discovered Dr. Dre and everything at the Rhodium Radio and stuff. So he wanted to do a documentary to honor his name and stuff. So at the time, right after I did the podcast with him, he showed me a clip of his Rhodium documentary. Man, I have to say, man, it was really, really good. So the Rhodium Radio was just something to promote the documentary, but it made it into a podcast. They were supposed to only do about maybe like 5 or 10 podcasts a day. That was it. But for
episodes.
yeah, but you know what? It grew and grew, and people wanted to come on, and he brought a lot of Chicano and Chicana music, to life,
Yeah,
and he brought the who's, man. Recently he just had Be Real from Cypress Hill.
yeah, I watched that.
3 hour
Unbelievable, man.
episode, 3 hour episode. There's an
Yeah.
episode I'm gonna hear it tonight after we're done with this. There's a first gangster gay rapper. Yeah, he was on it. Yeah.
He came on a podcast.
Yeah, it was just yesterday. I'm gonna check it out.
Who on which? Oh, on his Rhodium
Yeah,
Radio. Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Oh,
gonna.
I saw the promo. I
Yeah, he
didn't.
has
I
like he
didn't
has makeup and everything, so I want to check out that episode. He had MC
something
Pacho,
something boy or
something like that. I'm gonna check it out and see.
yeah, I saw.
Yeah, yeah. He has a lot of ideas he's bringing on. I told Tony, hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know it's music, I know it's this, but you know what? I'm gonna let you know, Tony. My goal by 2021 is to be the first podcaster to be a guest on the Rhodium Radio. I'm telling you, like
You told him? What'd he
I
say?
he's like, damn, dude. It's like I'm telling you, you can see me. You can see my stories. You can see the hard work I do. You can see the grind. He knows how I am. So
Hmm.
doing a podcast tomorrow with them is like a little like a first step to see. But I'm telling you, I'm gonna come with the heat. I'm gonna come with the content. I'm coming to be more original. But that's my goal for 2021 is to be a guest on Rhodium Radio. Me being your guest on your show, doing other people's podcasts, did a recent, like a while back, American Cholo podcast. That is a huge Chicano podcast right there, man. I mean, huge. And
Yeah.
a lot of people are saying, man, oh man, you're never gonna make it, man. I hear that shit every fucking day, Andy. And look at me, man. You know how I am, man. I bring the heat. I mean, there's
Yeah.
people who talk the talk, but I walk the walk, man. Like I said, I'm bringing killers after killers. I'm doing other
Hmm.
people's podcasts. I'm doing Mega Man After Dark. All those haters, man. You know what? You can suck my dick, dude.
Who called? I think, who was it that called you the hardest working man in podcasting?
Frank Blanco from No Father, No Problem and stuff.
There you go.
We're gonna talk about that down the road in the podcast too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of motherfuckers need to be called out, dude.
No, I definitely want to. We'll talk about all that, man. We'll get into that. Yeah, but yeah, I thought it was cool when I heard Tony A talking about how he was, hanging out with Dr. Dre was at his house and DJ Quick and Sir Jinx and all these legends, man, all these freaking legends. And he's got pictures. I would love to see those pictures, man. That before they got big and just those old photos, those still photos, man, of him. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
something that's super cool, man. Super cool episode. I really enjoyed that one, man.
That'd be awesome if Dr. Dre did a Rhodium Radio. He brings good guests. I mean,
He does, man.
he had the Hood Santa a while back.
Hmm.
I had him on the podcast. Creep was on the podcast from Orange County. Just I just
Lighter shade of
sometimes
brown.
yeah, Lighter Shade of Brown. High C. Just a lot of good people. There's like
Yeah.
there's so many good people, but you know what? Oh, he brought Prayers. This group called Prayers. The lead singer for Prayers. It's a Cholo Koth band. He is married to Kat Von D from Inc. Like LA Inc.
Okay.
So he's like a Cholo kind of new wave and all that. So uh, Tony brings the heat, man, and I'm kind of thankful that he did Word and Radio because you know why? Even though he's doing Word and Radio, he is representing Wilmington, California. A lot of people give talk down about Wilmington, California because Martin came from over there, Tony A came from over there, Joey's Barbecue, Mega Man, Let Me Know Pod. I mean, there's so many good people.
Wow.
Even though I live in Long Beach, man, I still represent the Wilmington, California to the fullest. There's one thing a lot of people were getting me criticized because there's a documentary called Culture Rich. Someone said, why you gotta say it like that for? I said, wait, if you can make it out of Wilmington, you can make it out of anywhere. Because the reason why I said it like that for is because the harbor area is in the deep of the harbor area, man. This it's like the toughest city, man. A lot of gangs, a lot of drugs, a lot of everything, man. And I made it out of there, but you know what? When people make it out of Wilmington, they don't fucking come back. I came back, and I always want to represent. I have family over there. I have all my friends over there, and I care about my city. I want to see Wilmington make a difference, because Wilmington gets a bad rep, but you know what? Those times are done right now, man. The streets are calmed down, but you know what? I love my city of Wilmington. Even though I live in Long Beach, I love Long Beach as well, and I love Modesto for Northern California. But honestly, Andy, my true heart is Wilmington. I love it because it made a man out of me. I mean, I had my good times, my bad times, and ugly times, but you know what? I brought the best out of me to like, you know what? Never give up. You never ever give up, and that's why I'm so thankful that I lived in Wilmington because, I mean, it made the best man out of me, and this is where I'm at now.
Yeah, no doubt, Mega Man. I think I know your story, a little bit, and Wilmington, and then you moved up north, and then Long Beach.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, you've been through a lot of adversity in your life, man, and some
Hmm.
personal stuff, like some heavy stuff, man. I've
Hmm.
heard throughout your episodes, different podcasts, and I mean, you've been very honest about a lot of this stuff. And but yeah, we and Wilmas, as it's known. I'm not too familiar with that area, man, with the harbor area. Growing up, I grew up in the Inland Empire. SGV and the Empire were my two main domains.
Yeah.
But no, I've heard. Yeah, it was rough back in the day.
Hmm.
Uncle Shoes IPA, nice, man.
Oh yeah, shouts to Beer Thug Life, Cellos, and hip hop. But yeah, Wilmington's like I said, it's in the heart of Harbor area. You got San
Yeah,
Pedro, Wilmington, and all that. Torrance and Gardena, and it's right there. And I love it. I go there. I go to Montoya's. They had good burritos. Like I said, Joey's Barbecue, probably one of
Joe's
the best
barbecue.
barbecues, and where I'm at and stuff like that.
Martin Moreno's from there too. I think you
Oh
said.
yeah, oh yeah, Martin,
Really?
yeah, Martin Moreno, yeah, he's over there. That's where I didn't even know, when Martin. I talked to Martin. Man, it must have been the last time I talked to Martin was like a month or two ago. I just wanted to check up to see how I was doing, and everything. Like, hey, you're still doing the podcast? Yeah, everything. And
Yeah.
I told him, once this COVID gets a little died down, I want to get him on the podcast, and stuff because that's one of my mentors. That's one of my because to me, I consider Martin Moreno honestly as like my cool ass uncle, dude. Like he
Yeah.
uh he keeps it real with me. Sometimes he might have to put me on check, like, hey, Mega Man, you're doing this, you're doing that. But there's like a lot of good podcasters, a lot of good people who reach out to me, just want to check to see how I was doing. Hey, I heard your podcast, do it this way and all that. So this is one of the things where sometimes in a way I am spoiled because I know a lot of celebrities, I know a lot of people and stuff, and they always mentor me to make the podcast better or do things certain ways to get the listeners, to get the exposures, to get more likes or to get more grams or fuck the haters and all that shit. So and that's how it is. And sometimes in a way there's people out there who don't know how to deal with trolls and haters and criticism and all that stuff. But Andy, I have super thick skin, and the haters are the haters, trolls are the trolls. But you know what? They're still making me relevant because they're listening to my podcast and they're lurking to see what I'm doing.
That's when you know you're doing something right. When you have haters and trolls and naysayers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, which I wanted to bring up, Mega Man. I listened to episode 179,
Okay.
right? And man, you did not hold back. You did
I
not
don't.
hold back on that episode. It was a solo episode, which you rarely do solo episodes. Tell us a little bit what inspired you to do this episode at this time. And I mean, and there's you covered so many topics on that, and we'll get into it. But tell us first why you decided to do that particular episode at this point in time.
Well, rarely I do the Mega Man's live because I've been too busy doing other people's podcasts and everything. And the little backstory with the Mega Man's life is like talking about my journey from my childhood until now, the struggles and the stuff I've been through. And for us being podcasters, a lot of people want to know, who are you when you're not doing podcasts? What type of ordeal or what type of stuff that you go through when you're not doing podcasts of the day to day life of instead of people call know me as as Mega Man, but I want people to know me as Stephen Martinez because everyone knows me as Mega Man, but Stephen Martinez. What goes on a day to day with Stephen Martinez? And a lot of people kind of like, oh, Mega Man, that's a little bit too much info. But you know what? I want people to know, hey, I'm just like you guys. I have a normal life. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, because, I'm for the people, like, hey, I want people to know me and be comfortable with me. Like, hey, there's sometimes in a way people think like, hey, I messaged you and I was surprised that you messaged me back because there's a lot of podcasters who don't want to message, people back and they think that we're stuck
Yeah.
up. So I'm not like that. So the episode for 179, I talked about what was going on for this whole 2020. A lot of stuff's been going on from this COVID, places shutting down from Gavin Newsom's. I had a lot of couple. I had a couple people that passed away from the COVID. A couple people had their places shut down permanently, and for all this, people true colors are just like they're just everyone's just bashing each other. And to me, enough was enough, man. I'm just getting tired of like people just talking shit to each other, not only in the podcast world, not only with friends and family, not only in the craft beer scene, but also like it just everywhere in the whole world, man. Because everyone's all thinking like, oh man, this COVID's crazy. I'm gonna let you guys know on something. You think all you guys are gonna be fucking worried about this COVID next year? Get ready for a new plague or a new disease coming from India right now. I'm more worried about that than this fucking COVID. I
I
mean,
hope not.
fucking
Shit.
300,000 people died in India of a new disease coming that there is no cure for this. And this is 100 times worse than the fucking COVID, Andy.
What? What? I
Yeah,
haven't heard about this. What?
look it up. It's in India. It's coming up, man. That's why That's why you ever see like the emergencies thinking like we're shutting things down. People are more worried about this new disease coming than the fucking COVID.
And this is
Ah, it's in India. It's coming out of India.
300,000 people died. You
Mm-hmm.
said so
Yeah,
far, or
yeah,
hopefully, and that's it.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And
Yeah.
just
Well.
and that's only in a 2 month span. And India has close to over 1 billion people.
Right. Right. No, it's definitely, man, populated. You mentioned something else in that episode. got sick from COVID and you were seriously
I got sick from
ill
COVID. I got sick from COVID 2 times.
twice.
Yeah, I almost died. Yeah,
Well,
I'm not just saying that just to get the people feel sorry for me. No, I got the COVID and I almost passed away. Yeah,
and
that's I
tell
got
us about
really.
that. Tell us about that. What like
So I got
you were in the
sick.
hospital and everything?
Oh, yeah. Well, I can't go to the hospital because they can't, you know, because if you go to the hospital, they were telling me I need to go to the hospital. You got to stay home because the hospitals were full because I have Kaiser as my benefits. So all the Kaisers, it was overpacked. So I had to stay home. That sucks about our medical field, our medical people. Like they're telling you to stay home. My kids are with their mom. At the time, my at the time I was with someone, and she couldn't take care of me. My fever was like 104, 105. I was throwing up. I lost about like what close to 20 pounds, and like in 3 or 4 days.
Hmm.
Sweating. It was got to the point I was throwing up blood, mucus. I was trying to drink a lot of water. Like take a lot of zinc, vitamins, soup, just whatever to try to keep everything. I was just throwing up, and it was just like I can't do this no more. My body was aching. I had more fluid in my throat. I couldn't fucking do it, Danny. To the point it got worse on Tuesday, and on Wednesday it got super worse. And I remember at the time I told my ex, I was like, I just want to tell you that I love you. Tell my son Emiliano that I love you.
You thought you
Um,
were gonna die. I
yeah, oh
mean, it
yeah,
got
oh
that
yeah.
serious.
It was super serious. I cannot. I was like, it was like to the point I was, you know what? Fuck it. I was done. The I had it worse. I had it super worse, and I just like if I die, I die because from 2 p.m. all the way until close to 6 a.m. from that time,
Uh-huh.
it was the most worst fever, the worst COVID I had, and man, that's not it's not fake, man. It's not fake, and I was like I was saying, I was so sick. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna die. Fuck it, just
Damn.
I was mentally where it's like, just take me. I'm done. That's how mentally drained I was, and mentally just I couldn't do it no more. I couldn't get up in bed. Is this the most? I'll never forget that night. I'll never forget that night.
What was gosh. So you mentally you just said, you know what? I mean you were exhausted probably. I mean just in pain. So
Mhm.
when did things start turning around? Like the next day or what time how long did this go on? Was it a week, a couple days?
Well, this I got sick on a Friday, and it lasted all the way until last Saturday. But I was quarantined for 3 weeks, almost like a month. You know,
Yeah.
that was like the early stages when this all COVID was happening, and my doctor they wanted to make my work wanted to make sure I was okay. Then I got the COVID again, but it only lasted about a couple days. But I was out of work for like another 2 more weeks and stuff like that. So but for me being an essential worker, Andy, we're in the front lines, because a lot of people don't want to do what we do, and luckily that I work overnights and there's not a lot of people, but we
Yeah.
need to really watch because we have to like sterilize and clean a lot where we do. If it's in the bathrooms and the bailers, the boxes, or certain
Yeah.
areas, we have to do that every night. And there's a lot of people out there complaining like, "Oh, I don't have no job." Well, once you go work at a grocery store and see if you might get, I don't want to get COVID every fucking day because it sucks, man. It really sucks. There was a person, I won't mention but this store had over close to 16 COVID cases, and I was like, what the fuck.
Mm,
So
damn.
they have to check out they have to put like a thermometer on forehead and make
Yeah.
sure. And the sucky thing about it is if you're being an essential worker and you're working at a slow store, and it's like if you feel this and all that, what can I do? Because I'm the only one with the keys, and if I sick, I have to let the store knows like, hey, I'm not feeling good. And sometimes in a way, when you're an essential worker working at a grocery store, sometimes you don't get those privileges because it's just like people depend on you and stuff, and you don't want to let people down or call out, or people are gonna talk shit like, does he really have COVID? Because that's where a lot of people in our company or jobs were like calling out, saying that we have COVID, but they just didn't want to come to work, and I think that was really childish of them to fucking do that shit.
Yeah, a lot of that was going on. I mean, back earlier this year, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
man, can't be doing that stuff.
yeah. So, when did you get sick? What part of the year was that?
I think it was, man. Oh, I think it was in July,
Uh-huh.
July or August, around that
Jeez.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was June, July, or August, man. But yeah, that was around those 3 months. Yeah, because I got the COVID 2 times. So yeah, it's around those 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
man. Well, we're glad you're here, man. And I mean, with this particular experience, though, Mega Man. I mean, shit. What did you learn from that experience, man?
I'll tell you one thing, dude. Like, I just stay home now because I have two boys that have a bad immune system because they have asthma, and I know sometimes they haven't been out because I don't want to take that chance, of taking them out. And luckily, sometimes you have to rack up on a lot of groceries. You got to rack up on the necessities, on the games and stuff to amuse them. But what I learned from this, man, don't take things for granted. Like, everything can be snatched up like just like that. And sometimes, from this COVID, you learned a lot. To
Mm.
not hold grudges, or not be hatred against certain people. Just, it's not even worth it. My
Yeah.
life is worth it. What would happen, Zandy, if I passed away? Who would take care of my two boys? No one.
Yeah. Right. I
you
mean,
know no
no,
one.
I hear you, man.
Being a single father, Andy, it's hard, man. It's like, even though the mother's not in the picture, what would happen if something, the mother, my ex-wife doesn't want our two boys, so who does my two boys have to go with? This everything's riding on me, Andy, and that's what I've been doing. Working my job, trying to fulfill my dream to do this podcast, because hopefully one day, Andy, if my podcast does succeed, and I make a lot of money, I can quit my job and make my podcast into a full-time job.
All right, right. No, that's the goal, man. That's the goal. I mean, making it a full enterprise, right? Business, turning it into a business and all that good stuff, man. And yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully that's in the cards, man. It's just a matter of time,
Mm-hmm.
I think, but yeah, man, that was when I was listening to that episode, I was like, holy shit, like, damn. I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
you had ever shared that, revealed that, and anything. I don't know. Have you ever mentioned that in other episodes or
I
somewhere else?
I kind of did, sometimes in the lives and everything. It's just sometimes when you do the Mega Man's life, I really want to be more deep into some deep conversations, or deep solo ones, to have people understand who is Mega Man all about, who is Stephen Martinez all about, instead of them making assumptions. Because
Yeah.
everyone's gonna have their assumptions of me. There's rumors of me saying like, "Oh, Mega Man's an asshole. I'm a cool guy. He's a piece of shit. He's this, blah blah blah." I want to be honest with you. A lot of those people, what they say is really true. The reason why, when you're a podcaster and stuff, you really have to hold your ground. There's going to be people out there. There's going to be guests out there. There's going to be other guests are going to test you and take advantage of you. But you have to put your foot down and say, "Hey, you can be like that with other people, but you cannot be like that with me." That's why sometimes you could be hella cool, but when you put your foot down, sometimes you got to be a fucking asshole.
Yeah, I think you definitely got to have thick skin, man.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely got to. But again, if you're doing something, if you're doing it right and you're being successful and
Mm-hmm.
people are gonna troll, man. They're gonna hate, and I think that's in almost any walk of life, right? You got people who are gonna be envious and jealous, and oh, what a f that guy, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah. They
that's just
talk
the nature of it,
yeah, they
of
talk
all
all
of it
they
all.
talk that yeah, Andy, man, they talk all fucking big, man. They talk big. Let's bring up the next conversation. I would like to bring this up because I want to shed light of the next topic, where I want to talk about these two dorks from Minnesota, from Buda Cultura. I'm gonna tell you a
Uh-huh.
little story about them. I want to. This is gonna be super deep. So I remember when I started the podcast, I started following Chicano Shuffle and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, Ramon was like, "Hey, you should hear Buddha Cultura and everything." Okay, whatever. They were small, they were big time. I remember Lazy or was a Smiley from Buddha Cultura was saying, they left me a DM, "Hey, Mega Man, hey, we just want to let you know, man, we rock with you, man. We're supporting you, man. Hey, keep on doing a good job, man. We want to let you know that, man, we gave you a fucking shout out." This is the early stages when we first started doing the podcast. And
Uh-huh.
I was like, who the fuck is Buddha Cultura? And I look at their episodes like 2 or 3 hours, like, I'm not fucking gonna watch that. At the time, it was fresh, it was original, it were cool. But I'll tell you this, I think right after this George Floyd and this COVID happened, things were
Uh-huh.
changing on the podcast that they were losing me. They were losing me. And there's one thing I don't like about podcasters: do not be a hypocrite. Do not talk about it that and you cannot. Do not talk about it and not be about it. If it's like, hey, we got to do something about this, instead of you talking, make a difference. Go help
Mhm.
out the homeless. Go help do this. Go do that. You're shedding light on a lot of different states. Why don't you fucking come fly over here and come help out what's really been going on? And they changed. And when they were talking about all these Black Lives Matter, talking about, oh, we got to do something about this, with the street vendors were getting beat up, by the black people. Let me tell
Mhm.
you, let me shed some light on that. That shit was happening to our people too. People with our own kind, because they were getting taxed. There's a lot of things, and
Yeah.
then some of the episodes they're saying, you know what, man, I'm gonna support Black Lives Matter. I'm gonna support the black community and stuff. You lost me right there. You kept on saying the M bombs. I'm gonna tell you something. I know we listen to rap music. I know they say the M bombs and all. I get it. Okay, I get it. But you don't have to be saying that. What's gonna happen is one day. What happens if you say that to a person, to a black person, dropping an M bomb? You think you're gonna get away with that and say that shit? Man, that guy's gonna get fucked up. And I told Lazy that, it's like, dude, you need to stop dropping that shit, man. It's like it's
Mhm.
it's but he's gonna say like, well, but we hear it from rap music, yeah. And of course, we listen to rap music, but it's all about respect. Then he goes on and saying that I was making threats like to his kids. I was saying on the last episode, if we have kids and you're saying the N word, let's teach our kids not to say the N word, because if they hear us saying the N word, then they're gonna repeat what we say. It's like, hey, if my
Mhm.
dad and my mom can say it, I'm gonna say it, and the cycle is going to continue. And Buddha Cultura, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, Lazy, if you're watching this, fuck you, dude. Because what they did is they talked all this fucking shit. They fucking blocked me. At the same time, you go on fucking your podcast, exposed, talking all this shit about me. You have all your fucking Buddha Cultura army saying all this fucking shit. You say all this crap, you make fucking threats, you go around to my fucking family, leaving my fucking address and shit like that, doing all this shit, and now you say, oh, we're not all about that. What type of podcast you're saying like, hey, we got to be together, we got to be unity? What the fuck is that right there? You cannot be doing that. And you're exposing what's going to happen if they did that to you, Andy, and made threats to your family or made threats to other people. Buddha Cultura, I don't know why a lot of people, whoever's on this, I don't know why you guys fucking support Buddha Cultura. And people will say, hey, Mega Man, hey, I can't support you. You know why? Because I don't want to get blocked, because I support them. I want to be on my good behavior. You guys are fucking pussies, dude. You're fucking scared little bitches, dude. Why are you worried about some podcast in Minnesota? What the fuck are they gonna do, man? Fucking little dorks and shit, trying to be wannabe gangsters at the same time look like fucking fruity cakes, man. They look like little fucking hotos and shit, dude.
Yeah, Mega Man. I mean, at this point, man, I know you're very passionate about this. At this point in time, is there any way that there could be maybe a conversation to be had, to maybe get back on the same terms? Because they're a big podcast, they have a good following. You're a big podcast, you have a good following, and if the podcasting community in general, I think, would be it could only benefit the community if Mega Man and Pura Cultura are on the same terms. So, I mean, what would it take to maybe at least have a conversation and maybe try to set things straight again, or something like
I'm
that?
I'm gonna be serious since I take my glasses off. I'm gonna be like that. There's been they had my number. All they had to do was fucking call me. All those podcasters, where were you guys at when situations happen? I gave a lot of those Latino podcasts, Andy, a lot of fucking chances, and they've been fucking up. There was people who made group chats of trying to get Ranting with Ramos podcast, my podcast, and Budico Duda's podcast. They talk about we got to be unity and we got to stop all this stuff. The first ones were always go was always lazy and Buddha Kultura. That I say, hey, let's talk about it. You have my fucking number. They don't want to reach out. What they are is that is a drama podcast. They want drama. That's how they are. They're very controversial. They're not about unity. They're for them to be like that. It's a setback to us now, and we're never going to be unified. So when people like that, what they do to kill other people's podcasts or bash on them and all that, a lot of podcasters, a lot of ethnicities will be like, man, see, that's one of the reasons why like the Latino community is not together. They're always bashing each other. They're never going
Mm,
to be unity, and they love that. They love it that
right.
we bash on each other. So
Exactly.
would there ever be a truce? No way, because they went above and beyond and they put my family in harm's way because what they did, they're very, you know what, and they're very clever because a lot of people made fake Instagram accounts maybe because it was them or their army. Let's just say it like this, Sandy. Let's say if they weren't from Minnesota and they said that shit here in LA, they would have been fucked up a long time ago. Because I know a lot of people that don't fucking rock with them. And there's a lot of people be like, man, I don't know what they fucking preach, but it's fucking fake and bogus. And they're just not original. They don't bring no blacks, whites, Asians, gays, lesbians on their podcast. It's a very, very pro Latino. And I'm going to say this, you need to really watch what type of podcast that you listen to because it will brainwash you to hate everyone else, but also hate on each other. What the fuck?
Yeah, we definitely want to hate on each other, man. But what if you were approached, by a podcaster, or a neutral party, and said, "Hey, why don't we get you guys on? Maybe let's try to, I'll try to mediate this." Uh, would you be open to anything like that?
I'm gonna be honest. If I saw them, I would have kicked both their asses. There's no truth. I don't give a fuck. Even though I have a
There's no
big
turning
pocket.
back, huh?
Nope, no, no. They went above and beyond, and they put my family's harm's way. To them, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna end it like this. God does not like ugly.
Mm.
That's it.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Mega Man. I mean, you're a you're a passionate guy. You come from the heart, man, and but yeah, I mean, we'll see you down the road, man. Hopefully, I mean,
Mhm.
I know you're upset and you're angry and and you have a right to be, and based on what happened, and um, but yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. And like, again, going back to the episode, you were very forthright and honest about that particular podcast, and as well as a few others, man. And um, what about those other podcasters you mentioned? Is there any chance we can get you guys back on the same terms or anything
I
like
don't want
that?
to. I don't want to be. I don't want to be around them. They're too toxic. They all support Buddha Cultura. I don't want to support them. I gave them so many chances. I even called and said, "Like, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of the stuff that you talked about, I got a lot of heat from the craft beer community, from a lot of people. I won't mention. I'll tell you off air. But people were telling me, is this the type of pro Latino podcast they listen to? What? So what's up, Bacon Man? You don't like black people? You don't like white people? You don't like Asians? You don't like gays and lesbian? It was also affecting some of the Long Beach people because of what they hear. So this is one of the reasons I had to part ways. I didn't go against one podcaster, Andy. I was going against 9 different types of Latino podcasts, and that's why I got a lot of heat for. But you know what? Like that war with Israel when they had a 6 day war with all the countries around the Middle East and Israel survived. I was the one standing. I won. I went against all of them. What the fuck did they do? They didn't do shit, dude. They
Mm,
say, what can we do to stop Mega Man from saying shit. Oh, what, hack on Mega Man's podcast or make threats and this whatever. Andy, I cannot be stopped. What because of this situation, Andy, what all this stuff happened when I started my new podcast page, I got more followers and I got more celebrities. I got more listeners and I got more well-known people be like, man, you know what? I gotta give it to you. I gotta give you credit, Mega Man. You went against them and you won because there's certain people that are too scared to step on Budical Duda's shoes or any other podcast because they don't want to burn bridges. But you know what? I call him out, and I'm not going to mention who, but there was a lot of celebrity people and some podcasters and some people were like, man, I'm kind of glad that you said what you said because a
Well,
lot of people don't support Budical Duda and what they do or any other certain type of podcast because they put a character on and they're fucking fake. You cannot have me on a podcast because I'm too real and you're putting on a front. No, I don't want that because I'm gonna call you out. It says don't put the character, just be yourselves. And to me, it's something where it's a lesson learned, Andy. But I moved on from it, and my podcast got way better. And that toxic group, I'm over it. I'm over it. That whole situation happened when Chris from Kickback Podcast started that whole fucking group. I already knew it was gonna happen down the road. Like we're all gonna, it's gonna shatter because all that shit happened is because
mhm,
of Ramblings Alcoholics. That's the thing. I'm telling you, this fucking podcast doesn't know how to fucking move on. If you're making a group if you're Andy making a group and you want all these bomb ass podcast people, hey, let's help each other out instead of not bashing each other. But
right.
I guess in a way they didn't get the memo. So when Ramblings Alcoholics brought this dork ass Coach Can Q and saying all this shit, that's I'm thinking to myself, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we're in a group and you're bashing on me, like, fucking move on. And that's where I was like, you know what? Fuck all this shit. And I was calling the motherfuckers out in the group. And that's when Ask the Fellas or Dudes or Chicano Shuffle was like, hey, Mega Man, take that outside. They'll put in the group, man. Fuck you. You ain't gonna do shit, dude. Like, you're trying to be like, oh, we gotta stick together as one. You can't do that in a fucking group because there's too much egos involved. There's too many major podcasts. So I think in a way, if people who are going to put me in a group on the podcast, you need to. I really want to know why you want me in the group, who's in that podcast group, and everything. Because if I'm not feeling it, I'm leaving a group. Because
Yeah, I get you.
because I'm too honest, I'm too blunt, and there's sometimes there's podcasters who call me, Andy, and say, hey man, Mega Man, calm down. I can't calm down, man. No, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you out on your shit. And a lot of people don't like me because I
Mm.
keep it fucking real.
Yeah, I understand, man. I understand. And you've had both of them on your show,
Who?
Pura Cultura and Rambling Alcoholics. Did you
Fuck
ever have
no.
them? You've never had them on your an episode?
I was a guest on Ramblings Alcoholics, but
Oh,
that episode hasn't been out because I told them don't put that episode out. It's whack. I didn't like it, and that's when they were start crying that the curse of Mega Man because ever since like I told them not to put that episode out, a lot of bad stuff's been happening to the podcast. A lot of bad stuff. So that's what they said. But Buddha Cultura, I was supposed to have him off a long time ago, but excuse me, for some kind of reason, Andy, I had a feeling about them. There was something off with Buddha Cultura, and thank God I saw for who they are, and I didn't want them on my podcast because if they ever did want to come on my podcast, I would have called their fakeness out. I would have said like, I think you guys are fucking fake, and we would have went at it because a lot of the stuff that they preach is they're just reminiscing in this, but they could talk about facts and music and this, but there's a lot of things that you can't be talking about our city of Long Beach. You can't be talking about LA's or certain areas if you're not from here. Buddha
hmm,
Cultura was only here for a couple months. They moved to the Pacific Northwest and they moved to Minnesota. That's their hibernation. That's their little safe zone because no one's gonna fuck with us. I'm gonna say this, Buddha Cultura. I don't give a fuck if you have like 8 or 9,000 followers and this, whatever. Little by little, Mega Man's coming. I'm gonna take over California, Texas, New York, Florida, Pacific Northwest. I'm gonna be in Wisconsin. I'm gonna be in your fucking backyard, Buda Cultura. I'm taking over. I'm doing everyone's fucking podcast. When you see me in the backyard, I'll be waving at you. Hey, Buda Cultura, what's up? I'm in your neighborhood in Minnesota doing other people's podcasts. I will not be stopped until I get on the 2025 Joe Rogan. I will not be stopped until I get there. Buda Cultura, you just woken up a sleeping giant. You fucked up.
Mega Man is now these a lot of these podcasters are they're mainly Latino podcasts, right?
All race, different types of
Okay,
race.
okay, all different types of. What? Let me ask you, what do you think? Or so what are some other issues that you're seeing within the podcasting community in general, man? Is there anything that you're seeing right now that you don't like, or that you see that could become more of an issue?
Yeah,
What are some things that you're seeing?
because people are not podcasters are not taking the time to get to know each other. There's so much of a texter or so much of a DM. If you're gonna like this, say for example, it's like, hey Andy, I want to get you on my podcast. What's your number? Okay, let's talk about it. Hey, this is how I am. This is how my podcast is. There's no communication. People are just wanting fucking the gram numbers. Oh my god, Mega Man has over 4,000, but his podcast only has over 300 or 400. I want to get him, and it's not about that anymore, man. It's you want.
Mm,
I don't want major people anymore. Like I wanted. I want good, real fucking people. I want the who's who's. But you know what, Andy? Podcasters have a problem. Oh, I don't want him. Why? Because he has 100 people following. I want the 100,000 people.
mm,
Well, what
yeah.
happens if that 100,000 people is a sucky episode, and that person has over 100 followers? Is a good fucking episode because he's genuine and he has a good story to tell. That's what I want.
No, that's true, man. No, I can't get caught up. Everybody wants, yeah, the big guest, the big celebrity, the big 10,000, 20,000, whatever followers, man. Yeah, everybody's got a story to tell, man. Everybody's got a great story to tell, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm including myself in that. I can't get caught up in all that. Oh yeah, let's get the big, it's nice, whatever. Yeah, but yeah, like you said, man, there's some really good people out there with some extraordinary stories to tell, man. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
my podcast is all about. Bringing on people with extraordinary stories, man, who are inspiring the the human spirit, man, inspiring
Yeah.
inspiring others to be successful in life and to do positive things. But yeah, man, that's interesting. So I was under the assumption that they were all mainly Latino podcasters, but it turns out that you got a little. I mean, it's just a variety of different podcasts or ethnicities or whatever.
Yeah, because a lot of people were telling me, "Is your podcast is a Latino podcast?" My podcast is very diverse, but I can play both fields. I can focus on the Latino and the Latina community, but at the same time, I can be diverse where I can interview whites, blacks, Asians, gays, lesbians, every color. It does not matter to me. I can evolve. I can to adapt to anything. So I just want to see people grow. I want to see people big, and but I just I always get that question a lot. Is your podcast is a Latino base? Um, at the time, people I don't know. I just bring the who's whoever wants to come on my podcast.
At any time, did you ever consider yourself Latino? I mean, a Latino-based podcast, maybe in the beginning, or
Um, I kind of did, but I kind of like was kind of worried about it because if you're considered as a Latino podcast, then you're going to be stuck in a category and you can't get out of that pond. And I don't want to be that.
yeah. No, I hear you, man. No, I'm the same way. I want to be. Yeah, I mean, I don't care about if race or ethnicity. This is a well-rounded podcast, man. I want to bring on people of all colors, all backgrounds, ethnicities, whatever.
Let me talk about this. I'm looking at the task right now. Ranting with Romos came on. I want to say this. Out of all the podcasters, Ranting with Romos is the one I like because I give respect to. He's saying that we had issues. We talked about it. Like, man, I love that because he keeps it real.
There you
He
go.
is he is the only podcaster that I know and I highly respect him because even though he has a podcast, he's out there helping the community out. That's where he's helping out, giving out pepper sprays to the vendors who are getting beat up. He's over here shedding light on a lot of things. To me, I know Budoka Duda talks big about that, but honestly, I think the real Latino Chicano podcast who's doing it and backing his shit up, and he does it. He talks the talk and walks the walk. Is Ranting with Ramos podcast, hands down, hands down.
That's awesome. Yeah, big shout out to Ranting with Ramos. What's going on, brother? And I mean, I don't know if you want to elaborate. I mean, was that how big of an issue was that you guys had? I don't know if you want to get too.
Nah, it was just like a minor thing, but we really like squashed, and everything and stuff. He does his thing, I do my thing, but you know what? I see from time to time what he's doing, and I'm proud of Ranting with Ramos. He's making a difference, and he's shedding light on what he's doing of how he wants his podcast to be. But when he's not doing podcasts, he's doing the merge, but he's helping out the people and shedding light for the community, for the Latino and the Latina community and stuff, and the Chicano community.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Big shout out, man. I heard you say recently, I don't know, on somebody else's podcast, it might have been yours, live or somewhere, but I can't keep track anymore, bro. You mentioned that you have to get to know. I think you're misunderstood, man. I think you said something about you have to get to know me, and you'll find out that I'm a good guy. I'm just very passionate. I don't bullshit. I don't like fake. I don't like fake. I'm just a real guy.
Mhm.
What's the biggest misunderstanding of you, Mega Man? What do you think the biggest misunderstanding is?
Oh, because people are going to spread rumors. Oh, this is what Mega Man is. Well, have you sat down with Mega Man? Have you know who he is? People are just going to go by what they see on Instagram or what they hear on the podcast. This is only like maybe 25% of my life being shown, but they don't know the 75% what goes on. So like I said, don't hear about the rumors. If you have a situation, there's a problem, hey, just meet up with Mega Man. It's like, hey, this true what you're all about? But everyone's gonna have their persona of me. So like I said, it is what it is. I said how it is, and I keep it. I'm a very honest and blunt person. I'm very passionate, but you know what? I have my head straight, but I don't want to deal with problems. I'm not like Buddha Kultura. When you have situation problems, what they do is they fucking block you. They don't want to deal with problems. They don't like it. There's a lot of people who go hard on Buddha Kultura, and if they don't like you, they'll just fucking block you because they don't want to deal with hard. They don't want to deal with hard questions. I see that. There's podcasters out there who don't want to deal with hard questions and facts. The only one I look up to, because I was like, whoa, I was shocked, is Gil. He's the host of the American Cholo podcast.
Uh-huh.
Now he gets hard with his followers and his fans on the YouTubes and everything, and I have to say, man, this guy has knowledge. I mean,
Yeah,
he
I've seen him.
oh my god, he's like who shit, man. It just hearing it, man. I have my popcorn and my beer ready, but man, dude, he breaks it down, and he
Yeah,
breaks it down.
for sure. He's good. I like his style, man. It's a straight up, no BS. But yeah, man, I was just curious because I've known you for, man, we go way back. We go way back to I don't know, August maybe. No, when was it? July or something? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it feels like it, right? Everything in 2020 freaking feels like a time warp. But yeah, man, I've gotten to know you a little bit better, and I people just have to take a step back, man, and especially in the podcast community, man. We're all in the same boat. We should all be supporting each other, like you said. Um, we should be all trying to help each other out and build each other's numbers up and support each other and follow each other in the content and have each other on each other's shows. And that's more, we need to see more of that, man. And it's just unfortunate to when stuff like this happens, man. It breaks my heart. It really does, Mega Man, because I know you a little bit better now, and you're a good guy, man. You've been through some stuff, but you're like I said, you're passionate. You're not going to take crap. You're not going to take crap from anyone. That's
See,
just you.
And that's the thing where people, like I said, we talked about earlier, there's people who want to test Mega Man to see what they can do. They want to get that platform, like, oh, I went at it with Mega Man. Okay, what? Good for you. Haha, yay. Like, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. It's like, whatever, like, looking back on it, all that shit that happened to me, I just reprogram my mind of little situations like that now. And it's like, why am I going to worry about trolls who make fake Instagram accounts just to talk shit?
Yeah.
I'm too, like, Andy, I don't give a
Yeah.
care. I'm too busy. I'm getting ready for 2021. I'm
Right.
blowing this podcast out of the water. It's like, I don't have time for this shit, you know? I don't have time for craft beer drama or podcast drama or situations. No, I'm not worrying about other people's podcasts. I'm worrying about me, you know? I'm worrying about how am I going to take my podcast to the next level? That's my thing.
Exactly. Exactly. What's the greatest compliment that you've received in regards to your podcast, Mega Man?
The the greatest compliment. Um,
Or what are some great? You can name a few, man. I mean,
I I can name a few. The greatest compliment is when I had three listeners stop commit. They were about to commit suicide, and they heard my episodes, and when they heard the episodes, they had a change of heart. That's a major one because
wow.
that's something where you never know who's going to be hearing your podcast, and a lot of people like my honesty, when they hear the Mega Man's life, a lot of people are asking me, when is the Mega Man's life? And that's what I did because it comes from the heart. And sometimes in a way, looking back and from this podcast I'm doing, Andy, I never thought I was going to be doing podcasts still. I wanted to quit. I didn't want to do it no more. I was just like, there's situations I deal with every day on a day-to-day basis where a lot of people don't know this. I I deal with my son. My oldest son has autism, and every day,
Hmm.
Andy, my the his autism gets worse, and I made a commitment where if things come to worse, Andy, I know that I'm ready to retire or to push things aside and raise my son, and because he's gonna need me forever, because he's gonna live with me forever. So
Hmm.
I know I'm mentally prepared if shit does come to worse, Andy. I know that I'm gonna be there for my son because I know I did my best to make a difference in the world, but you know what? My son comes first. My son comes first, and I'm gonna be there with him no matter what till the day he dies.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Of course, man. No, you're a great dad, Mega Man. I know I've seen you, man. And there's no doubt about that. And but yeah, those are challenging things, man. Real life stuff, man. That you know, not everybody knows about you, or not everybody experiences. And I appreciate what you do, man. It's an amazing thing that you do.
Mhm.
Um, Vanessa's asking the chef and queen. She asked, well, let me before I post it. What, and then you have a pretty cool story as to how you got into podcasting, but why did you get into podcasting, man? And tell us a little bit about that story.
So when I was working at Smart and Finals, when I got my first iPhone, there was a purple box that said podcast, and I remember it's like, what is a podcast, And I started listening to it. At the time, there was Adam Curry, then there was Radio Lab, and there was Joe Rogan and Tom Green, Tom Green, And I started hearing podcasts. I was like, man, I love hearing it. It's different. There's people talking. I don't know if it's gonna make it, but you know what? I love it because it keeps me going. And I was like, for some kind of reason, I was like, should I do a podcast? I don't even know because I thought about it for like years, but I don't know how to start a podcast. But the whole story was when George Perez was invited on Joe Rogan's podcast, and Joe Rogan planted that seed. Hey, do a
Mm,
podcast call, and George Perez like, I don't know what to do. And a couple weeks later, he made the George Perez stories, and after that, I quickly subscribed, and that's when you know, hearing the episode with Felipe Esparza at the time, Andy. I don't know who Felipe Esparza was. It was a very, very episode because the thing is, when I heard it, it's like, "What's up, food?" Like, what? I was like, "Oh my god, this guy's hilarious! It's original." Hearing Jason Rouse, hearing Renee and Jack Jr. from the Ha Ha, Martin Moreno and his son Hooter, and all these crazy stories. And if it wasn't for George Perez inviting me on the 50th episode as the best fan guest, and 2 weeks after, because I just did an episode last night with Martin Rizzo from Squad by the Bell, he was the one who got me to the podcast game. And if it wasn't for Martin Rizzo helping me out, I wouldn't be here talking to you, Andy. So I have to give credit to George Perez and Sidick and Martin Rizzo to get me to the podcast. Yeah, Sidick is his name, Sidick Getty.
Yeah, yeah. I think you mentioned that on, was it 179, episode 179?
Yeah.
I was
So
laughing my ass off. I kept hearing side dick.
Sidick Getty and Martin Rizzo, and
Ah.
ever since then, it's not what you know, is who you know. So thank God I had those connections of these special guests that came on the Mega Man's podcast we talked earlier, like Tony A, then MC Pancho and Tanya, then getting the who's, because and the Hood Footy. I mean, I had the Hood Footy on. Driscoll Kid, I'll probably get him on next week, but that's what you have to do. You got to keep on grinding and on the podcast, and when you do, people are going to take notice and be like, "Oh shit, Mega Man! Oh, I want to be on the Mega Man's podcast. I want to be on the Mega Man's podcast," and stuff. Because
Yeah.
right now, next year, I want to get a studio. I want to get my own podcast room and everything, and have it more like very professional and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. I want to get one too. Shit. You know, but that's interesting how that came about, man, because otherwise I mean, who knows? That doesn't happen. We're not having this conversation, right?
Yeah,
Eh,
yeah. Someone's put, how did you get the name Mega Man? Mega Man was my favorite video game, but the whole story
mhm.
was the name Mega Man is to dedicate the name to my cousin, R.I.P. to my cousin Stephen Gomez. He was the one and we were living in Wilmington. He was the first person in our block to have a Nintendo, a regular Nintendo. He had all these games, and I remember there was about 10 to maybe 20 kids waiting in line playing the game about 5 to 10 minutes each until I was the last one. I said, "What game you want to play?" Because I wanted to be the last one because I could play it the whole night. And he says, "Well, he told me what game you want to play," and I was like, "I don't know, like pick one." And he had the Mega Man 2, and I played the game for the whole night until he fell asleep, and I was still playing with it, and I fell in love with it. And my cousin Steven passed away when I was about 16, maybe 15. He was living in Montana working, and he was going back home on the freeway in Montana, up way up there.
Yeah.
And a big diesel truck hit him. He fell asleep driving. The diesel truck hit him face first, and
Oh,
he died instantly. And
damn.
I was thinking of like, what am I going to do for a podcast? It's like, what would I do? What's a catchy name?
Hmm.
And I was thinking about it for a couple months. Like, what am I going to do? And until I thought about my cousin Steven, and I was thinking about the Mega Man, the Mega Man's podcast. It was called the Mega Man Hour, but I took the hour out and I just put the Mega Man's podcast. And when I think about it now, I think it was the best decision for me to catch that name because I wanted to dedicate that title, the Mega Man's podcast, to my cousin Stephen Gomez, who passed away.
Yeah, man, that's great, man. Great
Mhm.
tribute. And what year was that when he passed away?
90, 95,
Oh, wait, okay, it goes back.
94, 95, I think. Yeah. Around
Yeah,
that
yeah.
time. I was young. Yeah, I remember when they had an open casket, I saw his face. I didn't recognize him. It was pretty bad.
Oh man.
Pretty
Yeah.
bad. Pretty bad.
Yeah. But I remember Mega Man. I remember that Nintendo game, man, going way back. And yeah, I think like mid late 80s, right? When like a game came out. I think it came out with like a Mega Man 2, and there's like three or four of them, right? Three or four
I
part, if
I think
I'm
there
not
was three.
mistaken.
I think it was three. I don't know if there was a fourth. There was always a rumor, but one because when I bought the Nintendo, my Nintendo came with the Duck Hunt and the Super Mario. Then I had the gun. Then I had the track and field. And a lot of people don't know this. I have two, not one. I have two open boxes, unopened boxes of the Power Glove.
Oh, yeah, that's right, man. How much do you want for one of those, Mega Man? What would you
Mm,
take? I mean, someone will buy that thing, man. No doubt.
I
You know,
can maybe 4,000.
You think you can get 4 grand for it? Oh yeah, you
Well,
could. Huh?
because it's plastic wrap, it's unopened.
Damn,
Because
when did you? How long have you had that?
my
Freaking 30 years
dad,
now.
well, my dad used to buy a lot of everything, a lot of stuff, and a lot of games, and everything. And I remember when my dad used to go to church, we had a person who's collect a lot of toys. I never seen a GI Joe action figure doll before. A doll like original GI Joe. I never seen it before. This guy had everything. The baseball cards, he had everything. I mean, I have 3 boxes of unopened tops, garbage pail kids. I have. I'm the only person. I think there's only what mm, I want to say 30, maybe 40 people in the United States that has the one game that will probably cost me about $9,000 from a Nintendo. It's unopened. I kind of opened it, but I put it away because I didn't want to open it. It's the Nintendo game, Big Trouble Little China.
Eh, Big Trouble. There's only a few out there. Is that what you're saying?
I think there's 40 or 50 out there that I know of, but those can go close to maybe 7 to 10 G's.
Gosh, man, incredible, bro, incredible, man. I would love to play on an original console. You've seen those mini ones that they came out with? I
Nah,
have one of
nah.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was playing. It's kind of cool. I was playing Galaga the other day. They're little knockoffs, right? They're little mini ones, but I know Nintendo came out with one their own version a couple years ago, right?
Hmm.
And you could put there's like 100 games on them.
I seen
Uh,
those. I seen those. I want to get one. For some kind of reason, they always sell out, but this is not the same because they pick the games that they want. But the games what I like, because a lot of people don't know, is like the last Dragon, the Last Battle, Friday the 13th, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, River City Ransom, Paperboy. I mean, there's a lot of games that a lot of people don't know, but man, Sky Shark, Gorilla War, like Mega Man. I mean, it's just, 1942, 43, like
oh yeah,
there were so many games. And I remember, or Final Fantasy, oh my God, I would be in that game forever, for days. But, I knew all the cheating codes. I have the first edition, the first book of Nintendo Power.
really?
I
Gosh, I haven't
haven't.
heard that in a long time, man. The
I
first
man. Mhm.
they used to come out with like codes and stuff in there, right? You could find
Yeah.
codes,
So
games, and
I used to
strategies.
I used to save up money. I said, "Mom, I have $300." Like, what's this for? I need to call Nintendo Power to get all the cheating games because it was a 1-900 or 1-800, whatever, and they would charge you what was it like a 2.99, 3.99 per minute, and I had
Yeah,
300. So my mom would time the
gosh,
time and everything, and I would look at the bill. I was like, "Oh goddamn, man!" But yeah, because that's when the movie The Wizard came out with Fred Savage.
oh my gosh, yeah, that's right,
Yeah,
that's
that's what the
right.
thing. And he's like calling the codes and everything. And man, I'm
Mhm.
telling you, man, they were making money.
Yeah, yeah,
Codes.
man.
Because we always wanted to be like, how do you beat this? How do you beat this on Metroid? How do you beat this on Kid Icarus? How do you beat this villain in Castlevania?
Kid
See,
Icarus.
Castlevania was a shit. Ninja Gaiden, Operation Wolf.
God, yeah, those. Wow, man, those are you're going way back, man.
Yeah.
But
This,
yeah, no, I
this,
memories, man, memories. And what was that? What was your favorite console? Was it the original Nintendo? What about Super Nintendo? Well, yeah, Super Nintendo, the second one that came with,
Man, I
and
had
then
a I had a Super Nintendo, I had a regular Nintendo, I had a TurboGrafx 16, I had a Genesis, but I'm gonna tell you, man, out of everything I had a Neo Geo.
Neo Geo. Remind me
That
what that is again. What
Neo
refresh my memory.
Geo Neo Geo was by back then was like the PS5 back then. Like
Okay.
it was like that Neo Geo. if you got it back then, it would cost you about close to $1,500, like $1,300.
Uh-huh.
You know, it was like the graphics were so good. I mean,
Wow.
just everything. Genesis was trying to come up,
Mhm.
TurboGrafx 16. I mean, all these like the who's. I mean, everyone was just trying to be better than fucking Nintendo or Genesis or Sega.
Oh yeah. Oh, wow. Remember? Go way back before that. Do you remember in television? How about ColecoVision? Remember that one?
ColecoVision. No,
They're
I
like
haven't.
they came out with around Atari. You know, when the Atari 2600 came out, and those are wow. That's going way back, man. Yeah, I remember in
Yeah.
television. Yeah, ColecoVision, and then Atari 2600. Then they had Atari 5200, if I'm not mistaken. And then right around that time, like Nintendo came out in what 84, 85?
And 84, I think. 84, 80. Yeah. I remember, man, there used to be so many shows. There used to be an NBC. There used to be like Nintendo Powers where it was a cartoon that had this guy who goes on the warp and have like, whatchamacallit, Kid Icarus, Castlevania, had, you know what I'm talking about,
God.
right? It
Uh,
was like a cartoon show. I'm gonna find it, but yeah, it was that
yeah.
one, and it was awesome, and it was like, man, dude, it's like every Saturday I would watch it, and dude, I have an unopened Teddy Ruxpin box.
Wow. Teddy.
Teddy Ruxpin, baby.
Oh, you remember My
That
Little Buddy?
dude, I have one too. That I had a Baby Glow. Remember Baby Glow?
Baby Glow. Yeah, it sounds familiar.
You
Yeah, but
squeeze it and it glows.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
I even have a freaking unopened box of Skeletor, Castle Grayskull, fucking He-Man.
yeah, yeah.
I have
Wow,
all
man.
that.
Oh,
I have, yeah, man. I had all that shit. I had my
shh.
dad was a collector. Like
That's
I have
cool.
baseball cards. My dad has a Sandy Koufax rookie card. You
Mm.
know, there's like I have everything up in Northern California. So if anything happens, I have all that. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna keep that, man. That's fucking money right there.
Oh, dude, that's amazing. Yeah, you're sitting on a gold mine right there, bro. It's you
Cabbage
know,
Patch Kids. Cabbage. I have a Cabbage Patch. I had two of them.
Cabbage Patch Kids. Remember the Garbage Pail Kid cards?
I have three boxes unopened.
Oh man,
I
those
have.
are yeah, those good stuff, man. We're going way back. I was gonna mention something. I lost my train of thought, but I wanted to going back to the podcast, Lego man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's two questions I wanted to ask you before. Well, the chef and queen Vanessa Bejarano was asking, what advice would you give to someone starting a podcast?
Oh, that is a very good question because
Right?
I have the answer for that. Before you start a podcast, I want you to really think about it for the first 2 months. If you're going to start a podcast, I really want you to think what you're getting yourself into, which means is, are you going to be ready for the criticism, the love, the hate, the trolls, all that? Are you going to be mentally ready when you start a podcast? Because you're going to put your life out there. And a lot of people who want to do podcasts are not ready to do podcasts because you got to be there, you know. And luckily, before I did the podcast, I was already thinking about it for a year. What do I deal with? And also, when you start a podcast, be mentally ready, be original, have fun. Don't worry about what the criticism or what people say. And if I was them, don't do 3 hour episodes. Don't do 2 hours or an hour and 30 minutes. If I was you, I would just start off doing maybe 40 minutes. Work your way up. Because
Yep.
knowing what I know now, Andy, if I was to go back, I should have done my episodes in like maybe 50 minutes.
Yeah. I,
Yeah.
I that's when I started out, I was doing even like 25-minute episodes, man. Like my first 10, 15, like 25 to 30-minute episodes. Yeah, that definitely, man. You're right on, man. You're right on. It's a commitment, man. It's a
So,
commitment because there's a lot of work involved, a lot of time, energy,
mhm,
preparation. You got
mhm.
to promote. You got to promote. I mean, it's if you really want to see your podcast grow, man, you have to put in the work.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
and that's the thing too. If you're going to be starting a podcast, there's no such thing as quitting. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Like, oh, I'm going to do it. Then all of a sudden, what happens? When's the next episode? Oh, I don't have nothing to talk about, and it's episode 9. And
Yep.
That's why, and this is the thing also, Andy, I'm going to tell you this. This is very, very important. I remember I was supposed to have a lot of major guests on in the beginning, and they said no to me. And I said, why? Because you're at 40 episodes. Like, I want to see if you're still going to be in it, which means like, I remember I wanted to get Martin Moreno from the Yo Yo podcast on the pod on my Mega Man's podcast. He didn't want to do it because he wanted to see if I'm still going to be in it. There's times where people have podcasts and they stop at 30, they stop at
Yep.
40, they stop at 20. He doesn't want to be on a podcast and you're done. So when I reached over 100 episodes, Martin was like, you know what, Mega Man, I'm going to do your podcast because I know you're fully committed. And I know Martin, I'm going to get Martin Moreno on because I'm almost at 200 episodes, but actually I'm at 410. But I want to get him on. But, there's a lot of people who are going to think like, hey, you got to be all in, and that's the thing. Like, my main goal, Andy, in 3 years is to reach over 1,000 episodes. That's why,
Wow.
because I put a lot of pressure, and because I want to. Well, if I did 100 episodes in 11 months, that's the fastest. Let's see if I do the Mega Man's After Dark, I do other people's podcasts, and I do mine. I put that together, but I just, for some kind of reason, that's always been my goal is to be in the thousand, in the thousand club. So sometimes now I'm have to do is like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm have to do maybe 6 episodes a week, every week until I do it. And I did the math. It's gonna take maybe close to what, 2.5 years if I go that route. But
Wow.
am I really gonna be mentally there? Am I gonna be mentally drained? That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's that's, I don't know what, but sometimes I think about it. It's like, man, I would love to get to 1,000 episodes. I really want to, man. Because that brings a lot of experience. Because we need 10,000 hours worth of experience of doing podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah. The 10,000 rule, right?
Yeah, the 10,000 rule.
Yeah. No, that's just damn. Wow. And consistency is a huge part of it, man. It'd be interesting to see. There's like, what do they say? Like over 1 million podcasts now in the books, right? But it would be interesting to see how many of those are just dormant, or where people just said, "Oh, let's start a podcast." A couple drunk guys, had a, we're up at 1 a.m. Yeah, let's do it, and made 2 episodes, and that was it. So there's probably a lot of those dormant podcasts, but I want to say the number is pretty small though, man, when it comes to, consistent active podcasts out there on the books who are releasing content regularly.
Mm-hmm.
I would wonder. I wonder what that number is, man, because yeah, obviously there's over 1 million podcasts, but a lot of those are just, like I said, man, just sitting there with
Like
1 or 2 episodes.
like like a month ago, I just reached over on my Anchor 300Ks of people who listen to my podcast.
Oh, nice,
But to
nice.
me, it's like people are telling me like, "Oh, Mega Man, you reached over 300Ks." Like, it's like whatever to me, because
Mm,
what really bothers me the most is that I do not have a YouTube channel. I got to get it, and that's what I'm doing next year, which I
yeah,
haven't put out. But like, man, I want to get to 1 million. I want to get to 1 million, but it's just that I only do audio. But if I have the exposures of doing YouTube and getting out there and having other platforms on social media, like from Twitter, Tumblr, TikTok. I mean, I'm looking at TikTok too, just to promote the Mega Man's podcast as well.
you really have to. I mean, gosh, man, I'm on Twitter. You're not on Twitter, right?
I'm thinking about it, but man, it's too controversial, man.
Yeah. No, I post the videos on Twitter. And I'm only on Twitter and Instagram, man. But I just don't have the time to be on anything else right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I do the best I can to be active on Instagram. I'm the most active on Instagram. My Twitter is, like I said, it's not as active as my Instagram, but I try. I do my best. You got to be at, I think, at least 2. And then obviously I'm on YouTube, so I'm on 3 then. So 3 forms of social media.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
you know, and Megan, I want to ask you, or Z Boxing News had a great question. Who's your damn? I made it guest on your bucket list, man? Who's that one guest that you would love to get on, man? Or maybe you already got him on. I know Tony A was on there.
Yeah. My top five. If I had to pick top five, I want to have Be Real from Cypress Hill on my podcast. You know, oh, this is gonna be a shocker. I would love to have him. He's my because people think like, oh, Mega Man, your inspiration is Joe Rogan. Okay, yeah, I want to be a guest on, but actually my inspiration is Vlad from Vlad TV.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That's
Oh,
my
that,
inspiration. That's how I am. Of honesty, bluntness, keeping the hard questions. He just keeps it real because I always wanted to do a podcast of just focusing on the guests, but don't show my face.
oh, I see. So putting the camera just behind you, kind of thing, and like he
Yeah,
does, right?
yeah,
We're just hearing your voice,
yeah,
and and then just asking the questions.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
yeah, so I'm sorry about that. Be Real, Vlad from Vlad TV, Charlemagne from Hot 97,
Oh,
um,
Breakfast Club, right? I think it is.
Breakfast Club, Felipe Esparza, and I would love to have Oscar De La Hoya. I don't know why, but Oscar De La Hoya.
That would be an interesting conversation, man. That's a
Mhm.
good one. Yeah, yeah. No, that's a great list, man. Gosh, it's a great list, man. You know, um, I know recently you did, my man. What a partner is that the one? Is that how you?
Oh my God. We're gonna do a part two because when we did the partner, man, they were like, man, my God, Mega Man, you have brought the Mega Man goods from the craft beers. Man, they had an awesome time. And that episode, man, was about close to 3 hours.
Oh wow, man! I got to go check that out. You
Yeah.
guys drink a lot of beer?
Oh, I got them. I mean, I had pictures and everything, and they had a good time. And they said the numbers were good, and we want to have you back. So yeah, I'm gonna get.
Oh,
Um, I want to come back, and I told them this let's see if we could try to figure something out somewhere in February and stuff, or January, stuff.
yeah, yeah. And I know you're pretty cool with going on other people's podcasts, people who are smaller podcasts who are trying to
Mm-hmm.
get their numbers up and
Mm-hmm.
etc. Is there a time, a particular podcast, well, not a particular podcast, but just in general, is there a time where you'll tell someone no? Is there something you stay away from? That,
Mm. You know what? Good question. There was a podcast out there. Uh, Boom Boom. I don't know what they're. I think they're out in El Monte or something like that. And I was supposed to like, hey, we want to have we want you to come on our podcast. And I was like, and I noticed it's like their past guest was Ramblings Alcoholics, and I told them it's like, hey, I'm gonna be honest, you had them on, then you had another guest, Dudes from LA's podcast, and I don't know if I want to be around that podcast because I might have to. I want to be calling them like, dude, what you have those guys on? And they reached out to me and they said to me, "Oh, Mega Man, we don't want no drama from you. We heard stories about you." And I told them, "Here's my number. You want to talk about it?" They didn't talk about it, and I'm thinking to myself, why am I going to worry about a podcaster that has only close to 100 followers and your page is private and you're only at fucking 12 episodes? Like, you're, it's like it's not even worth it. It's like, for what? You know, let me know if you want me to come on when you're at 80 or 100 episodes. But like with those and stuff, no. But there's like I'm very picky. I'm very selective who I bring, I be a guest on because I know a lot of the people I'm a guest on because I built that relationship with them. I don't know who they are, and I heard their podcast. And I was like, it's not a good podcast. I don't want to be bashing on them, but it's I don't like it. It's like it's too plain,
uh,
and I could tell their podcast is very very structured. And I was like, no, I just I can't. There's no way. I want to be myself, and I don't want to be uptight, and I can't do this. I can't say this. Like I said,
yeah.
I do not want to be told what to do. I cannot be like that.
No, I understand. I understand. And it goes both ways, right? If you don't feel like you're going to be a good fit on somebody else's show,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, man, of course. I was just curious, man. I mean, so you've told people no, you've had to tell people no.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
mean
thank you, whatever.
yeah, I told like maybe 7 or 8 podcasts. Uh, no, there was one podcaster in Maryland wanted me to get on, and he's like, I want to get you on and start tomorrow. I was like, okay, let me promote, and he got all mad. What are you doing promoting? Like, I haven't got you on. It's like, well, if you're gonna have me on tomorrow, do you want me to promote? And he got all weird, and I was like, what the fuck
Really?
is? Yeah, he got mad because I was promoting early.
What?
Like some podcast called
How could
out
you
of
do that?
yeah, it's like
Why
it's
did
some
you do that, Mega Man?
I don't know because it was some podcast called Out of the Blank Podcast or something, and this guy has over 600 episodes and all this. It's like the who's, but it's like I don't know who this podcast. He reached out to me like, hey, I just want to do a podcast, and I told him, have you listened to my podcast? No. Why did you want to get me on? Oh, I just because you have because your numbers. That's it. I just want your numbers.
Oh, that's wow. Yeah, that's interesting. Interesting, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you just have to be very wary of
yeah.
what podcasters to get you on and stuff like that. And I was like thinking like, hey, how did the episode with you and Social Primate went?
But so, you know what? We had to postpone it, man. We
Oh,
had, yeah, we had some scheduling conflicts, and we're gonna do it next Wednesday. Yeah, yeah, we're supposed to go on Tuesday night. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Dude, I've only been. This will be the third time I go on somebody else's podcast. I've only done two, man. Two
um,
podcasts.
hey, I'll get you on. It's gonna be a fun episode.
Oh, dude, I would love to get on. Are you kidding me?
Someone
Yeah.
says, "Wow, how are you going to get viewers if you don't promote?" That is a good question. You gotta promote, like promote. That's what I always do. Like a lot of people don't know, like, hey, how do you do it, Mega Man? When I'm working overnights, when I'm at lunch, I'll do whatever, post a memes up, a story, videos, upcoming stuff, and everything. I'm trying to save time so I can stay home and relax and spend time with my boys and just because I'm a homebody. I just want to stay home. I mean, Mega Man single, hot chef queen. I don't know. What's up, girl?
Well, I think she's down in Long Beach too, man. If I'm not mistaken, right, Vanessa? She's out of Long
uh,
Beach, yeah. Oh,
chef queen? Was that chef queen?
du- chef and queen. Dang, Double A's gonna play some matchmaker right now.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! I'll
No,
see what's up. I'll see what's up. But so yeah, like you just got to know how to promote, and what if you know how to promote? That's how you got to get those numbers. And I remember I heard a lot of episodes from other people's podcasts crying about what do we do? We need to get our numbers. We need to where our numbers are low because everyone was going back to work and this COVID. It's like, well, if you want exposures, you got to get out. You got to get out there. I remember I heard an episode from No Father, No Problem from Chinook and Frank. And I remember they were getting all these killer comedians like Martine and Tanya and stuff. And I kind of felt like, why did you get them on for? Because I had them on and I told Chinook this, and he corrected me on this. He's probably gonna remember. I told Chinook, don't think like you get carried away. It's like, oh, if Mega Man has he or she on as a guest, I'll get them as a guest. Because what happened is they had a guest. I had a guest. I had on my podcast. It was because I know her personally, but they tried to get her on, and it backfired. And it was a sucky episode because it just sometimes in a way it doesn't work out like that.
I'm sorry. They try to get who on?
Well, there's a girl. I had a past guest of her name is UbiTube, and I
Okay.
had her on the podcast, and they had her come on the podcast, and it didn't fit, and I told them like, hey, there's something was kind of off on the episode. It's like, well, yeah, man, because she doesn't know your podcast. She only did the podcast because I told her to, and it's like she doesn't know what you guys are about, and she was very uncomfortable, and they don't know her personality. She likes to be a center of attention. You can't put her in a group of a lot of people because she's gonna be like, because you're just she wants that exposure. She's like very hyperactive. She's like all enthusiasm, all happy. You can't put her in a group. That's why you have to put her on her own as a solo one, just me and her and stuff. So that's
Mm,
why some podcasters, they want to see, well, if Mega Man or Annie had a good guest, I'll get that. And maybe that guest is not going to fit with their podcast, you know?
right, right.
But like,
Well,
yeah, but they were saying like, um, they were crying about it, like, man, our numbers are going low and this, whatever. And I heard the episode, I was like, man, but I was telling you guys for months, this is what you gotta do. But they don't listen, and now it's biting them in the ass. I told
yeah,
them, but they're they're fucking hard headed, man. Hard headed. Fuck, man. They don't want to listen to me, but they want to take the long road instead of the shortcut.
you're giving them the answers to the test. They don't want to take the answers to the test, man.
What the fuck, man? It,
Yeah,
it,
I
it doesn't
understand.
and it doesn't matter if your best friend's Alpha Robles. It doesn't matter if Chicano Shuffle and this, whatever and stuff. They're putting out one episode. I'm doing like 7 or 8 episodes. I'm getting more experience. When they're sleeping, I'm still fucking working. That's why I was
Mm,
working on my craft. You're getting better.
right.
When I get the YouTube, then this Zoom, then I mean all this stuff, the promotions, the graphs, dude, I'm
Yeah.
saving money instead of paying people to, hey, do my graph for me, do this for me. No, I want to do the stuff behind the scenes, because
Hmm.
what happens if a situation is like, oh, I don't have a producer? It's like, don't worry, I know how to do it. I don't have a
Yeah.
graph to make designs. Oh, I know how to do it. I'm saving money for me because I don't need to get a team. But sometimes people tell me you need a team. Okay, but if I do it myself, I'm saving money.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. And so you want to learn how you know how to do some of that stuff or already?
Yeah, I want to do all that stuff. Vanessa says, yes, I am single. What's up?
Oh,
Mega Man
yeah.
podcast. Mega Man's podcast. What's up? Slide with my DMs.
DMs. Yeah. Well, well, Vanessa's good people, man. Has her own meal prepping business. It's called Chef and Queen, and check her out, Mega Man. Check her out on the on Instagram. She makes some bomb food. I had some ceviche. She came on here actually about a month and a half ago now,
Yeah, yeah, you
and
told me about it. Yeah, you told me about that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And she came on, and I think the next day or 2 days after, I had some of her food. So
Hmm.
yeah, check her out, man. She's cool as hell. Good people.
Oh,
Good,
yeah.
shout out, Chef and Queen.
Chef and Queen,
Single.
shout out. Shout out, shout out, shout
But yeah,
out.
yeah, man. So let me ask you this, Mega Man. Let me shift gears a little bit on you, man.
Okay.
Who are 3 people you would love to have dinner with, alive or dead, man? Who are 3 people you'd love to have dinner with?
Okay. Who I have dinner with?
Shout out to
Uh,
Chris. What's up, Chris? Kickback Podcast, LA.
what's up, Chris? Damn, dude, it's a good question. Uh, I know Beer Thug Life will be one.
Really?
Yeah. Tito the Hood Santa.
Oh, Tito, man.
Tito, I can't wait. I can't wait for you to have him on. And fuck, dude, Julio from Tell Us Mundao.
Really? All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good though. That's a strong trio right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
uh, Beer Thug, those guys, those are some heavy hitters.
Mm-hmm.
And Hood Santa's gonna be here on Tuesday. Can't wait for that.
That guy's the man. That guy is the man.
He really is, man. That guy is
That guy has a
incredible.
heart. He is over around. He's like around Long Beach, giving out free Christmas trees to the homeless and to people who don't have, who can't afford to giving a Christmas tree to their kids.
What really touched my heart yesterday, I think he posted the one where he was giving the little girl, he took her shopping. She's 4 years old, diagnosed with cancer, man, and he was I think he gave her some toys and some Christmas tree and stuff, and just man, just touching the heart, man. That type of stuff is amazing. Just what a great human being, man. Unbelievable, bro. And he was I think a record. I can't wait to talk to him, but he was a producer, right? Music producer.
He used to make beats for like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. I mean, Jermaine Dupri, Dove Shack, the East Siders, like the who's man. I mean, And the weird thing about it is, when I was at the time with my ex, she was telling me, man, you gotta have this guy, the Hood Santa, the Tito Rodriguez. I was like, I didn't know who this guy was, and so I
Really?
did. Yeah, oh, yeah, at the time, and I did my research, and I was like, what the fuck? And a lot of people in Long Beach, like, he was well known, and when I had him on the podcast, you know, excuse me, it was a good episode, and when I had him on again, and I met a lot of good people who follow me, and they've been following me since from the Mega Man's podcast because of the Hood Santa, and I met a lot of good people and a lot of good connections in the city of Long Beach, and that's where for next year, Andy, my podcast is going to go to a little different direction because I know from this COVID right now, I'm going to probably stay home base because there's been a lot of cities or places are closing down, and I kind of want to stay and try to help out the community and also help out these small businesses from not closing. So I'm going to be doing a lot of podcasts from a lot of well-known people in the city of Long Beach, and if I could try to get Snoop Dogg or try to get Warren G and the Hood Santa, then the Mayor of Garcia's, and a lot of small businesses and a lot of who's who are from Long Beach, I'm going to do that because I got to represent my city, but not only represent my city of Long Beach, but also represent my other city of Wilmington, California as well.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, and like Pike Cruiser just mentioned in the comments, I can't wait for this COVID crap to end, man. And because I've met so many people, since I started podcasting, that I haven't gotten to meet, obviously in person. And I got to meet a few a couple days ago. I had met the Hood Foodie. I met Cali Girl Eats. I met Driscoll Kid in person at the charity event, that toy drive.
Mhm.
And that was kind of a sample size, man. But I can't wait till where everything's open, man. We can sit down, gather, and really have a good time, man. Get to kind of hang out with everybody we've met
Oh
this whole
yeah.
year.
hmm Oh
And even
yeah.
through you, Mega Man, through you, I've the first time you came on the show, I met a lot of people after that show, man. My numbers went up, man, and because of your appearance on this platform,
hmm
and I got to meet some really good people, man. Like what was it, Diverse City and
Yeah.
Edgar, or I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Wasco. What's it, Hazel Eyes? Just people like that, just good people, man. And so I can't
Yeah.
wait to, you know, But so you mentioned, so you're gonna go on hiatus, Mega Man, here soon for a little bit,
Yes.
or what?
So I'm going to be busy all this month and all of January and the first week of February. Then after that, because as long as I already counted, I'm going to be doing close to 30 episodes, Mega Man After Darks and all that stuff. So if you kind of do the math, the 30 episodes, there's 4 episodes in a month. You times that, that's close to 8 months. That's close to 7.5 months worth of materials right there. Because I'm going to be taking care of some personal things, some situations, and I need some time off. I've been really, really busy, and there's some really personal things I really have to take matters first. But I'm still going to put an episode out, but I'm not going to be doing podcasts for a while. But because I have a lot of this content out, I'm going to push it out, and
Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
still gonna
yeah.
be pushing content out,
Oh
episodes.
yeah.
You already got them in the bank.
hmm
But as far as recording, you're gonna take a break from recording for how long do you think you're gonna do that?
Um, maybe from February to like maybe April, because that gives me enough time to take care of my personal matter I need to take care of. But at the same time, it gives me more time to schedule uh, the guests that will be coming on from May through August, because from May through August, Andy, this is where you're gonna separate the men from the boys, and this is where
Mm-hmm.
these killer guesses are gonna be. This is gonna be more like to Pura Cultura and to a lot of those podcasters who doubted me. This is gonna be more like a fuck you to them.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh. Wow.
I'm gonna bring the fucking heat. I'm gonna bring the hate, and the other podcasters who fucking mock me, don't do it, dude. Because don't do it, because I'll rub it in their faces as well. Because I'm gonna be like, how did Mega Man get on? How did Mega Man get that guest on? It's gonna be like that. I got it. I got some secret guesses. I'm not gonna mention it. I'm not gonna post it up. I'm trying to keep it very, very, very secret because what happened is I posted one time. I posted a guest I was supposed to have on. It's like, hey, tomorrow I'm gonna have this guest on, and a whole bunch of haters are DM like, hey, don't do the Mega Man podcast, blah blah blah, and everything. And
Wow.
because of that, guest like, hey man, I've been hearing what the people say. You know what? I don't want to do your podcast. So that's why I don't promote all that shit. Yeah,
Wow.
there's
They
haters like that. Haters, man.
terrible.
Haters, dude. Haters.
That is unbelievable, man. Terrible,
Hmm.
terrible, man. Pike Cruiser said he went to high, high school at De La Hoya, and
Ooh.
there you go, man.
Bike Cruiser is that's a he. Hey, you know what? He's getting into the craft beer scene, man. He's been drinking a lot of good craft beers, dude.
He said you got him into it, man.
Yeah, because he was on the zoo. He's like, how did you hear about the zoo? Like Mega Man. He's like Mega Man taught me, and
Oh, and
he's been drinking a lot of. I think he's been going to San Dimas, and he got some Hayes Twins and some beers and stuff. So
that's
Pike
cool.
Cruiser. Shout outs to Pike Cruiser right here. So I'm drinking an Uncle Shoes right now and everything. But
He's
Pike
a huge
Cruiser,
supporter, man.
he's a huge supporter,
Big
and
guy.
and those are the people that you really, really, you don't forget. No matter Andy or me, if we have over 1 million followers or like Rogan's, we're not going to forget the people who supported us from the beginning.
Oh no.
We're not like Buda Cultura where you get a whole bunch of followers. When you're done with them, you unfollow them and you get to the new followers and you're done with those new followers. Then you get to the new followers. I kind of see Buda Cultura what they do. When they have a lot of followers who they're following, you kind of notice, oh, gee, how come that 700 followers limit went down to 4,000? That's a mystery right there. So it means you unfollowed what, close to what, 3 to 4,000 people.
Wow.
That's how they get their numbers so they can get to 10K. Yeah, those are not. Those are just trying to follow people just to get to that 10K. I'm gonna tell you something before I don't know if we're good on time, but I do not care about followers or numbers and this whatever because you know why? It's gonna happen one day where because of the cyberbullying, the suicide rates,
Mm,
people are like, oh my God, this guy has over 133 Ks in this. Instagram is probably going to say, you know what? You can see how much people you have or whatever, but the people who see your page are not going to know because it's not going to show it.
wow.
They're going to do that. They're doing test runs where
Okay.
if it says oh Andy has 1,100 people following him and he's following over 12, they're not gonna show that no more. You can see
Really?
it on yours when you see it, but your followers or people who see your page, they're not gonna see it no more.
None of it? Not either one?
So we're
Followers and
all so we're all gonna be as one.
wow. I didn't hear about this.
They're doing test runs. I think it's good. I think in a way because a lot of people care about the exposure or how
Mm,
this person has over 1 million and like I don't fuck with person because what they're doing is they don't want to downgrade people where
I
a
see.
person has 50,000 and this person has 200 followers and shit like that. Everyone is gonna be all. We're all gonna start over as zero.
Wow. That's interesting. I didn't know about that. I didn't hear about that. Yeah, we're all going to be like equal footing,
Yeah.
right?
So yeah. So there's no favoritisms. Everyone's all equal. So that's the thing I like.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's we'll see what happens, man. Hey, Mega Man, what are your plans here for the Christmas, man? Anything going on? You gonna go away or on a road
Um,
trip, vacation up north? Anything?
man, dude, Mega Man's gonna be broke, man. I'm gonna start my Christmas shopping. I mean, my kids are gonna get the PS5. My daughter's gonna get some clothes. My youngest son, Emiliano's gonna get some cars. He loves cars. Dude, right now I'm in the process of redecorating my place because I gotta get new blinds. I'm gonna buy two brand new TVs. One of my TVs fucking just shut off.
Oh,
Yeah, so
damn.
I'm in the process of redecorating anything, getting new couches. Just I want to spend a lot of money, but my kids understand that because the only thing that they're gonna get is like, you want the PS5? "Oh, you're gonna get that PS5, but that's all your motherfucker gonna get." So I'm gonna get them a PS5. I'm gonna get them a couple games and clothes here and there. But I'm more focused on just making my place a little bit more nicer because I'm gonna be here till maybe the end of 2021. By the middle of 2022, I'm moving. I'm looking for a place in Downey.
Oh, the Mexican Beverly Hills, right?
You know it. You know it. You know Mexican Beverly Hills.
It's a
Yeah.
great spot. That's a nice city, man. Nice area.
Because there's a lot of parking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No doubt, man. Well, Mega Man, it's I can't wait to see, next year, man. I know you got a lot of stuff up your sleeve. You're keeping some stuff close to the chest, to the vest, as they say. I know you're going to continue to do your thing, man, and it's been a pleasure, having you on and for part two, and I want to thank you, man, because the first time you came on, like I said, man, it was a hit, and you have the most, the most watched episode on Profile Pod TV, and I met a lot of good people after that episode, man, and so the numbers were great. Hopefully we could hit 1,000 on this one, man. So
I'll do my best. I'll do my best to promote
Yeah.
it for the next 2 months, and we're just gonna go from there. I know what the number is. I know who had the most. Was it 200? It was uh she had the most views at 201. Then I beat it.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, yeah, Rachel. Then I went to 300. Then I went to 400, and the second most views is me, you, and Chris from Kickback Podcast. So 365, 368, or something like that.
Exactly.
It's a numbers game, Andy. When every time a person brings me on, I bring the numbers. Don't lie. I bring the numbers.
No, you're right, man. The numbers don't lie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the numbers tell the story, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Mega Man, you want to give any shout outs before we wrap it up, man?
I just want to say shout outs to everyone that follows the Mega Man's podcast, all the true people, Andy, thank you for inviting me on Profile Pod TV, Pie Cruiser, Chris from Kickback Podcast, Vanessa, I'm just trying to look at all the people, Ranting with Romo's podcast, shout outs to IBK, Henry, Diverse, Gregory, the whole craft beer scene, Beer Thug Life, Cellas, Mundao, Hip Hop. Deadmo. To my kids, Gavin, Alex, Emiliano, my daughter Luna, Daddy loves you, and the sagas continue. Maybe down the road, maybe we'll do a part 3. And
Yep.
I'm gonna keep on going. And just pave your way. In 2021, and Mega Man's going to be doing big things, but I'm going to take it one episode at a time, one guest appearances at a time, one Mega Man After Dark at a time, one funny mean at a time, or just anything. But you know what? I just want to make people happy, because I know from this COVID, it sucks. It just really, really sucks. And I just don't want to see people go through some hardships or depression and stuff. Cause I've been there. I know how it is. And, I just want to see people happy. And one last thing, do you know anything what happened with Tina?
No, yeah, I was thinking about her today. I keep forgetting. I want to hit her up. I want to shoot her a DM, just to check in on her, see how she's doing. Hopefully she's okay. I'm thinking she's just taking a break, But I haven't seen her around. I haven't heard anything. I'm gonna hit her up, man. Check in on her, see how she's doing.
I want to see what. Right. Yeah, I want to see because it's kind of weird because she's always been supportive, like showing us love. It's just kind of weird, like out of the ordinary,
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. I know. Shout out to Tina. Phoenix gosh, I forgot her user, but yeah, Tina Mendoza. She's great friend, great supporter. Yeah, man. No, Mega Man, but yeah, it's been a pleasure, man. Like you said, man, I enjoy all your content. I know you just want to bring a smile to people's faces, man. And thanks for all your support. Thanks for coming on tonight. I appreciate that, man. And let's keep rocking and rolling, man. Next year is going to be great. It's going to be even more epic. Like you said, let's continue to pave our way. Let's continue with consistency. and push forward, man. Push forward. And Tony A said something today that he really resonated with me, man. He said that back in the day, they used to now we call it grinding, you know. And back in the day, they just did it because they loved it, and that's where we're at, man. We do this because we love it, right? And it's work. It's effort, it's energy, it's work. But yeah, he mentioned that, and that really kind of really he said a lot of things today. I was like, damn, man, he's good, man. That guy's good, man.
Tony A is good, and that's I look up to him. He also gives me advice, and a lot of podcasters gave me major advice, and it just made my podcast way stronger after the little escapade with some of those Latino podcasts. Now my podcast is way better than ever because I had to part ways, but now knowing what I know now, it's good, and the sleeping giant just awoken. So get ready for 2021.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And you got Tony A early on in your career, right? Early on, I think you had just started your podcast. I mean, if you were a few months in, that was a pretty good, catch there to have him on so early, right? I mean,
oh yeah, I can't wait, and I'll be on his podcast tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
That's right, yeah.
Freaky Tales podcast and everything, and shout outs to you, rest in peace, Debo, Tiny Listed.
Yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. Are you gonna be on that Zoom tomorrow with Henry?
No, I told Henry I can't, but I will be on Zoom. Be on Zoom next Thursday because he has the owners of Indie Brewery, which we thought there was a rumor that they were going to close down. So that's a very We're going to be looking into that. So next Thursday, because I don't know if you're doing an episode next Thursday.
No, I got Tuesday.
Okay,
Myself, you're asking me?
No, because I'm not doing no episode, no Make 'Em After Dark Thursday. It's all Zoom because I really want to know about Indy, what's going on, because a lot of these breweries are closing down left and right, and we don't want to see that no more.
Yeah, no, we definitely don't want to see that, man. So, yeah. I'll check you out tomorrow, man, on Freaky Tales. And but yeah, once again, man, thank you so much. Best of luck to you, man. You and I are going to be staying in touch and checking each other's content out, et cetera, et cetera. Ladies and gentlemen, man. Where can we find you? Where can the good people follow Mega Man?
At the Mega Man's podcast page. The Mega Man's podcast, that's the other one got hacked. So everyone follow my new page at the Mega Man's podcast page.
There you go. There you go, man. Once again, Mega Man, thank you for coming on, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, there it is. There he is, the Mega Man from the Mega Man podcast, Steven Martinez, man. He's always he's never at a loss for words, never a dull moment with my man, Mega Man. I want to thank all of you for tuning in tonight, and all of you in the comments. I mean, Pike Cruiser, thank you, brother, man. You're always a big supporter. Joe Sanchez, Vanessa Bejarano, the Kickback Podcast LA. Big shout outs to all you guys. Z Boxing News was in the house. Yo, it's me. Let's see who else came in. Joaquin Martinez, my good friend Joaquin. What's up, brother? Jordan fans are the worst. Some of these names are funny, man. Big shout out to Ranty with Ramos, who was in here. Steeler Sports Guy, and who else? Ciro came in. Thank you, Ciro. I think again, if you're watching at home, thank you so much. If you're watching on the replay, much appreciated. And if you're listening, I really appreciate it, man. Don't forget to click on that little purple icon, the Profile Pod TV icon at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Click on that, and then you'll be able to subscribe right away. That's a nice little new feature I've installed here on the Profile Pod TV podcast. Support the channel, support the content, man. If you like the content, that's one way you can show me that you like it, man. So hit that subscribe button, follow, share, follow us on Apple Podcasts under Profile Pod TV. Just got that recently switched over to Profile Pod TV, so you'll be able to find me there under Profile Pod TV. Write me a rate and review, 5 stars, all that good stuff. Follow on Instagram, follow Mega Man on Instagram. And it's always fun to interact with the audience, and it's always fun to get feedback and input, man. So thanks again, guys. And don't forget, if you want to be on this platform, hit me up in the DMs on Instagram, and we'll make something happen, man. So again, man, I'm just looking for people who are inspirational, who are doing extraordinary things to inspire the human spirit. So Mega Man back on with the cool shades, and yeah, man. So we'll see you soon, Mega Man, on part 3. Maybe we'll in the future.
Yeah.
Looking out for you, brother. And once again, thank you, everybody. And I appreciate it. We'll see you next Tuesday. I might have a social hour this weekend. We'll see, but stay tuned. But we'll see you next Tuesday with the Hood Santa. My man Tito Rodriguez. That's going to be a big one too. So, we'll see you guys then. So for Mega Man, I'm Double A here on Profile Pod TV. Thanks again for checking in. We will see you next week, and always remember to take it easy.